The streets were quiet when the footsteps stopped behind her. No scream was heard. No one saw anything, and by morning, the city was gripped by fear. More than a century later, his name still echoes through history. Welcome to Unresolved Casefiles. In the autumn of 1888, London was the largest city in the world, and also one of its most divided. Nowhere was that division clearer than in Whitechapel. Narrow streets, crowded lodging houses, poverty so severe that survival itself was uncertain. Thousands lived packed together, invisible to the rest of the city. It was here that a killer would emerge, not with a face or a name, but with a pattern. The victims were women living on the margins of society. Many relied on temporary shelter, unstable work, and the protection of anonymity that came with blending into the night. They moved through streets where gas lamps barely cut through the darkness, where police presence was thin, and where danger could disappear into an alley in seconds. The first known murder occurred at the end of August. At first, it appeared unremarkable by the standards of the time. Violence was not uncommon in Whitechapel, but something about this death unsettled investigators. The speed, the silence, the precision. Then it happened again, and again. Each time, the killer struck at night, choosing locations that offered both privacy and a quick escape. There was no sign of struggle that would attract attention, no witnesses willing or able to come forward. The attacks seemed calculated, controlled, and deliberate. This was not random violence. It was methodical. As panic spread, newspapers gave the killer a name: Jack the Ripper, a name that transformed a series of murders into a legend. Headlines fed fear. Letters allegedly written by the killer arrived at newsrooms, taunting police and the public alike. Whether authentic or not, they deepened the sense that someone was watching, mocking the city's inability to stop him. But who was he? To understand the Ripper, investigators then and now have looked not just at the crimes, but at the environment that allowed them to happen. Whitechapel was overcrowded and poorly lit. Police patrols were inconsistent. Many residents distrusted authorities and avoided involvement. The streets created opportunity, and the killer exploited it. His modus operandi revealed key traits. He struck quickly. He chose victims who were unlikely to be reported missing immediately. He operated in familiar territory, suggesting he knew the streets well. And perhaps most telling, he vanished just as easily as he appeared. This was someone comfortable moving through darkness. Some theorized he had medical knowledge. Others believed he was simply experienced, adapting and refining his approach with each crime. There was no evidence he acted impulsively. Each attack suggested planning, awareness, and confidence. And then, just as suddenly as he emerged, the murders stopped. No arrest, no trial, no confession. The silence that followed was as unsettling as the crimes themselves. Theories multiplied. Was Jack the Ripper a local resident, blending into Whitechapel by day and hunting by night? Was he someone with authority, whose presence raised no suspicion? Or was he a transient figure, passing through the city at exactly the wrong moment in history? Over the decades, suspects have come and gone. Doctors, butchers, artists, aristocrats. Each theory offers fragments, coincidences, circumstantial details. None offers certainty. What remains undeniable is the impact. The murders changed policing forever. Investigative techniques evolved. Public pressure forced reform. Media coverage reshaped how crimes were reported and consumed. Fear altered how people moved through their own neighborhoods. Jack the Ripper did not just kill. He exposed the cracks in a system that failed its most vulnerable citizens. And perhaps that is why the mystery endures. Because the question is not just who he was, it's how he was able to exist at all. How a man could commit such acts in the heart of the world's greatest city and simply disappear. How history could record the crimes in detail, yet erase the person behind them. Even now, new theories emerge. New analyses claim to solve the case. Modern technology is applied to old evidence. Each time, hope flickers, and each time, it fades. Jack the Ripper remains unknown, a shadow without a face, a name without an identity, a story without an ending. If stories like this matter to you, If you believe history's unanswered questions deserve careful examination, subscribe to Unresolved Casefiles. Liking the video helps these stories reach more people, and every share keeps the search for truth alive. Because some mysteries refuse to stay buried, and some questions still demand answers.